Hey everyone, so in this video, I'm going to help you prepare your knees to, to do running, triathlon activities where it involves a lot of forward and back motions that your body may not be used to, right? And so sometimes when you start running, biking, and doing these repetitive things, there are some very common muscle imbalances that you're going to want to address to make sure that the knee tracks over your foot evenly, right? You don't want the knee to buckle in. And a lot of times this happens because in our training, our exercise programs, we typically only do forward and back motions, lunges, squats, leg stuff, and not a lot of side to side or any twisting motions. Okay, so to help your knees, first you need to assess where is your ability to control your knees. What skill level is that, right? And so the first test that you can do is simply just do squats. Right, and you can kind of stare at your knees. If you're squatting all the way down and back up, and if you look at the knees and the knees already buckle in, right? So just with squats, then you're going to want to do a level 1 program, which I'll show you. Okay, level 1 program. Or if your knees are nice and stable over your feet and ankles, then the next one is just balance on one leg and squat down, right? And you can kind of look down at your knee to see what's happening. If you do a one-legged squat and you go down and you're able to keep your knee directly over your ankle and foot, then you would be fine. But if you do a one-legged squat, and I'll exaggerate, so your knee buckles in like this, right, buckles in, then you would do a level 2 program, which again, I'll show you. And so the last one is if you can actually do a one-legged squat nice and even, then try jumping up and landing, right? Jumping up and landing. And again, you of course would look at your knee, right? Look down and see when you land, does your knee buckle in, right? So if it does, you would do a level 3 program. Now, if you can pass a one-legged jump and stick that landing without the knee wobbling, you don't need to do any of this, right? That would be awesome. Okay, so you do the assessment, the squat, the one-legged squat, and then the jump, and then you can determine essentially which level of activity you should be doing. So let's go to a level 1 exercise. So we can keep it simple. A level 1 exercise, you would essentially get a elastic resistance band, and you could just tie it around your ankles, and you essentially would just stay in a squat position and walk side to side like this, right? So level 1. This would be a great exercise for you to do. After 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those, you're gonna start to feel some muscle burning in the hips. Some careful things to consider when you step. You wanna make sure that you step without your knee wobbling, right? Because if you just step and allow your knee to wobble, you're training your nervous system to allow the knee to not be stabilized, right? And the problem with the knee wobbling is the main knee joint clunks around and rubs, and also the kneecap, which sits in a groove, the groove is moving side to side, so the kneecap is also bumping side to side, which is not good. Okay, so I would do sort of the band size steps. Again, a looped elastic band around your ankles. Now, if you're currently having knee pain, like your knee right now hurts, what you would do is you would start by having the band above the kneecap joints, right? So that allows you to work these muscles really hard, but it puts no stress through your knee joint at all, right? So if you're currently having knee pain, you would have to band across, right? So above the kneecaps. If your knees are feeling good, then you can have the band below at your ankles, okay? So that's the first exercise. The second exercise, once you can do that for a week, right, you would do this every other day, work it hard, but work it every other day, right? So you would do maybe 3 sets of 20, maybe 25 to 30 repetitions until you feel really massive amounts of burning in your hip muscles, right? 3 sets, 20 to 25. And after the first week, now we can make it a little bit more dynamic. You can do this while you hold on to some band resistance, right? So in this example, I'm just gonna use this cable machine. So same exercise, you have the bands around the knees, and yet you're also holding this side to side. This makes it much more dynamic. It will load your inside hip a lot more, and you can start off just by your hands on your chest, right? Like this, side to side. And again, as you land, don't let your knee wobble like this. Land soft. And then after a couple days of this, once you get used to this, you can then bring your hands out here. What this does is when you land on that foot, this also wants to twist your body. So you're gonna have to use the anti-twisting muscles, the rotation muscles in your hip to control for this motion, right? So back and forth like this. Okay, so same thing, you would do your 3 sets of 20, 25 reps. You're just upgrading the plain side steps to side steps with the band around the lower legs, plus holding some type of resistance with the bands. Okay, so that's level 1. If you pass to level 2 already, then you would then get an elastic band, or you could use a cable column if you want to go to the gym. If not, you just get a looped band and put the loop around, the bottom of a desk or something sturdy. And then you want to put the band around like this. And so you're going to start off level 2 people. You're going to start off with this position, and you're going to lunge down and then back up, right? And so when you lunge down, if you notice, I didn't keep my upper body straight up and down. I got my chest to go over my knee, keeping my back sort of flat, right? In other words, I'll give you a side view just so you can see my spine. Squeeze your shoulder blades back, stomach sucked in. You lean forward, keeping your shoulder blades back. Don't round your shoulders, but my chest is over my knee, right? But of course, you want to do it this way because the resistance of this band wants the knee to buckle in. So I have to use all of my hip muscles that we want to strengthen to keep the knee out, right? So shoulder blades back, stomach in, lunge forward, down, and come back up. Lunge down and come back up, not letting the knee buckle in. So you would do this, sets of 15, 20 repetitions for 3 sets. And then of course, you can alternate legs and work both legs, right? So the band should be going towards the inside of your body, and the outside leg is the front leg. Okay, so you would just turn around and do the other leg. Again, once you can do this for about a week, you can make this a little bit more dynamic, right? So you could have something like, I'm actually just going to use this bottle here, but this could be a medicine ball, a dumbbell, a kettlebell, a gallon of water, which would be 8 pounds. So you would want to do the same exercise while you move whatever weight you want to use across your body like this, right? Because once it's here, it wants to do this to my body. Once it's here, it wants to do this to my body. So it adds a extra degree of control that your hip muscles have to control. And so this is a way to challenge your hip muscles doing these diagonal patterns while you're doing the lunge and keeping the knee from wobbling in and out. Okay, so once you are able to do that for a couple weeks and that becomes easy, you can then progress to level 3. Or if you test it and you can start off with a level 3 exercise, these are the next exercises, right? And so a level 3 person can basically tolerate all the slow speed stuff you can control, you just don't have control with high speed, right? And so we simply, at first, just want to be able to control some high speed stuff. And what you could do is you can jump up with one leg but land on 2, right? And so stand on one leg, jump up, but land on 2. Squat down on one leg, jump up, and land on 2. All right, because what we're doing is we're making the descending, the landing part, which is actually the hardest part, easier by landing on 2 feet, but we're taking off of one leg. And the goal, of course, is to make sure that the knee stays centered. Don't let it buckle in when you take off, when you jump. Right, so just to review, jump up, land on both. And so you can do this for sets of 20, 25 repetitions, 3 sets each leg, right? And so once you can do this well, you can add some resistance. And so you could do this simply by just going to lessen the resistance. You just want a little bit of resistance, some kind of band. You can do the exact same exercise, right? One leg, jump up, and land on both, right? Again, the band, you can start off just like the level 2 progression with it against your body, which only wants to do a side-to-side resistance, and then you can progress to having a hand farther apart. As you mentioned, once you progress to this on this exercise, you want to face one direction, jump on both legs, switch to the other direction, and jump on both legs. In other words, you can do like 20 on the outside leg, 20 on the inside leg before you turn around and repeat, right? That will get resistance in all the directions, right? And so that's a level 3 progression. And once you can master that, then you can now try a one-legged jump sticking on one leg, right? Making sure that the knee doesn't buckle in. And so once you can get to the one-legged jump, sticking the one-legged without the knee buckling, then you can do the same exercise again,